This
This
video
video
is
is
brought to you
brought to
by
you by
Law
Law
Excellence
Excellence
IAS
IAS
Academy.
Academy.
Dear students, good morning. Welcome to DEEP, Daily Editorial Enrichment Program of Law Excellence R&D. Let us start the discussion on today's newspaper, that is 2nd August 2019. The first article for discussion, marking Tipu's legacy to foster historical temper. Here the author has used a lot of flowery language. Don't get drawn into that flowery language. Don't try to open your dictionaries for that. So what the author is saying is, history will have ifs and buts always. There will be contradictions. In case of UK, Richard III, its history is history. There are people who support it, there are people who oppose it. Napoleon, people who support it, oppose it. So, in midst of these contradictions, a curious mind, a temper develops. So, in the case of Tipu Sultan also, there are many contradictions. There are many things which can be an appealing thing for the curious mind. Let's take Mr. Tipu Sultan was a constant donor to various mutts. And the second, Tipu Sultan has encouraged only certain kind of people in his army. And on the other side, it is stated that Tipu Sultan has encouraged Persian language as a court language rather than Kannada. So, is he a Muslim warrior, tried to protect the Muslim faith, or is he a secular? That's a very big question. Today, rather than continuing this discussion which can lead to historical temper, our political leaders seeing it from a very narrow frame. So, in Karnataka, Tippu Jayanti was announced by Mr. Siddaramaiah and Mr. Yediyurappa wanted to do away with it. So instead of that, history will always have contradictions. Making the people to see through these contradictions and developing a curiosity surrounding them, this is the way to develop historical temper. That is what author is trying to say. The next article is gender justice. So see, in Indian society, women are disadvantaged, and poor women are more disadvantaged compared to the others. This is clearly visible in the case of victim from Unnao. This woman, she went for a job with a local MLA, and he sexually assaulted her, and then he got her father arrested in a fraud case, and he died in the custody, and then she was gang raped. After that, when she finally got or about to get some justice because the matter has turned serious, and this person got arrested, today she met with some brutal accident. Is this an accident or is it a planned assault? We do not know as of now. But it raises certain serious questions about women's safety in India. Forget about everything. Why women are unsafe in India? The thing is very simple, patriarchal mindset, no gender sensitivity, and understanding of other sex is not there or not nurtured in our culture. So that's why the boys are remain as boys and the men remain as men, where women are being taken a secondary position. And in this mindset, an individual, when he gets power, he is becoming an animal. So that's why in our criminal justice system, the power are the people who are taking the things onto their control. The poor people getting justice is becoming difficult, and poor women getting justice is a myth. That's what this article tries to project. So the only hope in case of justice today is Supreme Court. As the matter went into the hands of Supreme Court, as it has ordered for shifting the matter from Unnao to Lucknow to Delhi, we can expect some justice to happen to that poor girl. Next, Fed's insurance policy. In the United States of America, the Fed, which is like our RBI, it has reduced the interest rates. So it means as the rates decrease, what will happen? More capital will be available at less cost. Increased capital, what it leads to? It can increase investments, and increased investments can facilitate increased growth. This is what we are expecting. In this case, why there is easing of monetary policy that is happening now? The simple reason is the Trump's trade wars with China. IMF also predicted that the global growth is expected to go down because of these trade wars. And the second thing is the developing economies, which are said to be the workhorses of global economy, so these are called as BRICS economies. They are also not doing so great. So, because of these headwinds, the Fed has taken a bit of accommodative stand. And how it is good for India? If the interest rates increases in US, most of the investments will fly out of India. Already, our the stock exchanges are bleeding. So, if investments or interest rates increase, the fly of capital is going to be much assault on our stock exchanges. Finding the data on missing girls. Here we need to differentiate between feticide and infanticide. What we are going to talk here about is feticide. In India, the number of girl children are decreasing. From 2011, if we see till date, there is a fall in sex ratio. In spite of this, Smriti Irani claimed that the sex ratio is increasing. It is based on Hospital Management Information System. This HMIS collects the information only from public hospitals and home deliveries, not from private hospitals. The more of the feticide where it is happening in private hospitals. So the place where the feticide is happening, if we are neglecting, obviously the data is expected to be inaccurate. So the sample registration system data which was used by the Niti Aayog appears to be more accurate. So it is simply we can say that the lack of proper enforcement of preconception and prenatal diagnostic techniques act, this ineffective implementation is the reason for the falling sex ratio. And a committee is appointed at the national level which is supposed to meet every 6 months, is not meeting regularly. Most important article today which I found in the newspaper is banning cryptocurrencies the solution? Now banning anything, what will happen? Will it lead to a loss of consumption of the product? No. It will go into darkness and a black market develops and people continue consuming it. But if it is regulated, how can it be regulated? Governments can create an incentive and a disincentive system surrounding it, and government can create tax revenue surrounding it. In that case, it can create more win-to-win situation. In the case of the cryptocurrencies like bitcoins, which are not backed by any metal or any sovereign authority, will they have value? That is the next question. Definitely yes. Why? The currency value or any product value, commodity value, land value, these are rising on the basis of trust. If the people trust that it is going to give more revenues in the future, obviously people will buy it. So the market forces create something called demand and also surrounding that certain trust. So the third thing is the cryptocurrencies are highly volatile. The share markets are also volatile. It means that can we ban those share markets? Volatility exists in every product. So in this case, to minimize the volatility, we make certain rules and orders. We keep that in control. So the regulation is the way we control that. And the next, if you see, European Union has brought in certain stringent norms to regulate the cryptocurrencies. And above all, cryptocurrencies are being used as anonymous currency to buy certain illicit goods. In this context, if the competition comes into the cryptocurrency market and every cryptocurrency wants to be good, wants to improve further, wants its value escalation, when that comes up, obviously that competition and market forces, they themselves will discipline the cryptocurrencies. Why we shall be worried about it? So the way forward or better solution can be to control and regulate the cryptocurrencies or completely banning them. You don't need a uniform to climb Tiger Hill. Previously, we had the people, especially from various countries, UK, US, New Zealand, Australia, climbing these trekking zones, high end trekking zones. So, Today, after Kargil war, these are all been banned. These routes are been closed. The government is reopening these routes, trekking routes. The next medical panel bill crosses Rajya Sabha. So the Medical Council of India is being replaced by National Medical Commission, and it is supposed to conduct an exam that is called next. So this is National Exit Test. It means this test will be the basis for one to practice medicine in India, or this test will be the basis to get a PG seat. This test is also for the people who did their medicine outside India. And the second, it is being criticized that it is against the federalism. Now, in this case, the representation of the states in the National Medical Council or National Medical Commission has increased. So, the representation of state medical councils has increased from 5 to 6, and also the representation of universities, state universities, increased from 6 to 10. So, to address the federal concerns. Opposition questions UAPA bill. What is the concern with UAPA bill? An individual can be designated as a terrorist. So the state has a right to designate, label a person as a terrorist. It means any person who is booked under sedition law, the government can label him as a terrorist. So anyone going against the state, if they are being labeled as a terrorist, where the free speech will survive in this country, that is the question. With the district-wise data, Assam government pushes for NRC. So this National Register of Citizen is supposed to end on August 31st. Now, certain people, especially belonging to majority sections, what they say is many of the inclusion errors are there. Many people who are not supposed to be in the list got into the list, especially in the border districts. That's why they are demanding for re-verification. Then already the government has declared the particular person, coordinator for NRC, has declared that 27% re-verification is done and no re-verification is necessary, and Supreme Court also said the same. But these people are taking certain examples to prove that inclusion errors exist and re-verification should be taken up. And finally, thank you very much. All the best. Have a great day.